The zero waste movement has grown and become mainstream in the past few years with the emergence of local refill shops, sustainable products on the market, and more. It's been amazing to witness the growth after 5 years of living the lifestyle, but we have a long way to go before our society can be completely waste-free. On the surface, zero waste living can cause some controversy and questioning. Is it expensive? Worth doing? Take a lot of time? So I've gathered your comments and questions about the lifestyle to take a deep dive into all the truths about low waste and sustainable living. Let's go ahead and dive in. Question number 1. How do you know if a company is greenwashing? For those of you who are new to sustainable living, greenwashing is a term used to describe brands that market their products as sustainable when in reality they aren't. It's easy for consumers to look at a brand on the surface without asking any questions, so companies take advantage of greenwashing and use words and terms without any proper certification. Before I continue, now is the perfect time to thank today's sponsor, Alter Eco, as they're an excellent example of a company that is doing things more sustainably. Alter Eco is a certified B Corp since 2009, meaning that they go through rigorous auditing by a third-party organization to make sure they consider their impacts on their workers, customers, suppliers, community, and the environment. Having a third-party audit or certification keeps businesses held accountable and is a good indicator that they aren't greenwashing. Also, you'll want to see what companies are doing beyond selling products. For example, Alter Eco is a chocolate company that sells chocolate for consumers. However, they also ensure responsible sourcing of all their ingredients, are committed to recyclable and compostable packaging, including their first ever compostable candy wrapper for their truffles, and are carbon neutral certified. They've also recently launched the Alter Eco Foundation, a new initiative to tackle climate change by helping transition 150 cacao farmers to a regenerative agroforestry model rather than the prevalent monoculture model in cacao production. If you're interested in learning more about Alter Eco or trying out their chocolate, be sure to use the discount code Christine20 for 20% off your order purchased on their website. You won't be disappointed by their delicious chocolate. Though every small business may not achieve the level of involvement Alter Eco is accomplishing, determine if they are trying to go above and beyond the business of simply selling a product. Does the company provide a decent repair or recycling solution for their customers? Are they taking strides to influence their industry in a respective manner? Those are some of the questions I typically ask myself when looking for sustainable brands to support. And if you don't know the answer, you can always contact them to ask. Question number 2. Is DIYing everything actually better? When the zero waste movement was picking up, there weren't a lot of options when it came to zero waste products. As a result, people flocked towards DIY as a solution to buying products without plastic packaging. DIY is a great way to learn about ingredients and gives more control and customization to what we use on our bodies or home. However, I've noticed a few downfalls of doing DIY. First is lack of education. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's automatically healthy or good for you. Please do your research on specific ingredients and their effects, and consult your dentist or doctor or any specialist about DIY options that are safe for your body and home. Everyone's health is different, so take care of yourself and get an expert's opinion as needed. Second, it may be difficult to find DIY ingredients in plastic-free packaging if you don't have a zero-waste store near you. If this is the case, it may be best to go with zero-waste products that are already pre-made, which are more available now than ever. In most cases, the companies that manufacture these products will be more efficient with their packaging waste as they buy larger volumes of raw ingredients at a time, compared to many individual households buying small sachets or bottles of plastic packaging to make a single DIY. Question number 3. What's the deal with the mason jar full of trash? Back in the day, many influencers in the zero-waste space would track their trash in tiny jars to demonstrate how little waste they could produce. While it's a fun challenge and interesting visual, I no longer track my trash in a mason jar because of the message it sends out to others. For one, everyone's access to zero-waste options will be different. Not everyone has a local zero-waste store, municipal composting solutions, etc. The trash jar is also only part of the story, as it doesn't reflect the amount of trash that is still generated upstream in the supply chain, which is about 7 pounds of waste for every 1 pound of waste we see as consumers. So the trash jar is cool, but it shouldn't be the expectation or the focus. Note that every step counts, so just try your best. Number 4. How do you deal with products that come in plastic? Unfortunately, plastic isn't going away anytime soon. It's a beneficial material in various packaging and medical applications, so it will take time for companies to find more sustainable alternatives. TerraCycle has been our go-to solution for things that are tough to recycle. If you didn't know, they're a company that upcycles tough-to-recycle plastic products and packaging. We recycle Cooper's dog food packaging and chip bags with TerraCycle, and collect a bundle of empty packages under our kitchen sink until we're ready to send them. It can be tough to go cold turkey when it comes to zero waste. Because of that, I've learned to be a little more gracious to myself and Peter, as it's unhealthy to put high expectations on ourselves, especially when we live in a system that manufactures products for consumption with no clear end-of-life solution. Unfortunately, zero waste isn't the norm, and we're often going against the grain, so I can't expect either of us to be perfect with reducing waste. For example, we have a little pile of plastic forks that have accumulated from the takeout that we've been getting during COVID. But every step in the right direction, I do appreciate. If you want more detail on Peter's perspective as a non-minimalist and zero-waste individual, we just uploaded our first Q&A as a couple on my Patreon page. We'd love to connect more with you in that community if you have the financial means to support this channel, and look forward to sharing more insight and behind the scenes of our simple and sustainable lifestyle journey. Number 5, how do I manage to declutter in a zero-waste manner? It can be painful to watch the amount of waste generated from the minimalism movement. Though it's satisfying to see people clean and simplify their homes, there's no denying that so much trash is created, and you wonder if they'll keep buying more stuff to fill the new space that has been made. Decluttering in a zero-waste manner takes time, patience, and thorough research, instead of just throwing everything into the garbage or toss it to a donation center. I genuinely believe that zero waste has helped me in my minimalism journey though, and increased my mindfulness because I take the time to consider where something will go before I purchase it. So it does take more time to declutter in a zero waste manner, but doing so is all the more rewarding and fulfilling. When decluttering, I always recommend selling as much as possible to help retain the value of your belongings. Whether it's on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or eBay, consider taking time to post items of value, which is a great way to earn a little extra cash. Then consider gifting to community groups or a free cycle page, or call homeless shelters and donation centers to see what they actually need and donate accordingly. If you have tough to recycle items, try out TerraCycle. Research end-of-life solutions on Earth 911 to find specific material recyclers in your area, or reach out to your product's manufacturers to determine an end-of-life solution. Number 6. Is zero waste more expensive and time-consuming? Zero waste products are often more expensive than traditional ones, but I've found that I buy fewer things now because of zero waste, so it has evened out. I would say that zero waste living is a privilege, as many sustainable products are made with higher quality ingredients by small businesses, which increases the product's costs. There are still ways to reduce waste on a budget though, and you can be clever with doing so. There's no need to go out and buy all the zero waste products to be sustainable. Using what you have already is the most sustainable option. I'll be sure to link my latest video on the topic in the blog post below if you need some ideas. Low waste living does take more time as well, as it requires more planning, research, and time to coordinate. If you're someone who likes to get things done, you'll probably love zero waste living. But if you aren't, it can be overwhelming. So take it step by step and don't feel like you have to change everything overnight. Zero waste living is a journey, not an end destination, and we're all working towards a lower waste world. And last but not least, number 7, what are you doing for indoor composting now? I've gotten so many questions about my beautiful wooden vermicompost bin, which is no longer in our home. Unfortunately, we had quite a few visitors, large spiders, making their home in the bin once we moved into this apartment, as it was a perfect space to hide in. I never had this problem in previous homes, only in this apartment, but as we want to keep the number of large spiders in our apartment to a minimum, I resorted to an alternative solution and sold my vermicompost bin. Currently, we freeze all of our produce scraps and compostable materials and drop them off locally. If you didn't know, there's a website called Share Waste, which helps you find people in your neighborhood that have a compost solution, whether it's a compost pile, a vermicompost bin, or something else. They may be willing to take your food scraps as well, so check it out if you don't have a composting solution at this moment in time. With that, those are your top questions about zero waste living answered. A big thank you again to Alter Eco for sponsoring today's video, and be sure to use the discount code Christine20 for 20% off your order purchased on their website. If you have any more questions about the realities of zero waste, let me know in the comments, or I'd love to hear about your experience with zero waste living if you've been on the journey as well. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, thank you for watching.